Driving home one night, I had one of those sudden realizations. I'd never seen a burned out traffic light. It made me realize that somebody must go around changing the bulbs before they burn out. That was only the first interesting thing I learned about traffic signals. You know, if you've driven around a city for a few years, you've seen thousands of traffic lights and obeyed them without even noticing them. The first interesting thing, they're this big. Not only that, these are the small ones. There's usually one with a large red light at each position on the intersection. The bulbs are 67-watt jobs, specially designed for traffic signals. The large red one uses a 150-watt bulb. And the assembly is aimed at a spot on the road where it's most important for you to see the signal. The units are modular, and that allows for building signals with extra lights for left turns and other special symbols. Now, even though modern microelectronics has invaded the world of traffic signal control, there are still some of these controllers sitting around on street corners. These controllers are mechanical, and even though the new style controllers are a lot snazzier and have a lot more tricks up their sleeves, these are more interesting to look at because they have moving parts. This switch is the heart of the mechanical controller. It uses a group of wheels in contact with a bank of switches that correspond to the lights. Wherever a section of wheel's been broken away, the contacts will close and the corresponding light will come on. Okay, let's pretend. Let's pretend that the lights are at the intersection of Main and Cross Streets, any town. These are the 6 switches for Main Street red, yellow, and green, and Cross Street red, yellow, and green. Now, there are 12 positions on the wheels to allow for extras like flashing green and pedestrian signals. This is a simple intersection that only needs 6 positions, but we still have to use all 12 positions. So some of the positions will do nothing. We start with Main Street green and Cross Street red. Now, Main goes red, with Cross Street still red. Okay, everybody stop. Cross goes green. And then it goes yellow. Oops, there's a couple of those do-nothing cycles. There, Cross is yellow. And then finally Cross goes red, and the sequence repeats. Now, there are 12 segments on the cam wheels that can be broken off, and there are several ways to do that. You might think maybe we should break off segments so the yellows are on for a shorter time than the reds and the greens. But the cams and the switches only control the sequence, not the times. The cams are rotated by this solenoid. It pulls against a ratchet whenever it gets power. There are 12 teeth on the ratchet corresponding to the 12 positions on the wheels. Okay. The solenoid is operated from a motorized timer that's surprisingly flexible for a mechanical device. The time it takes for this drum to go once around is set by a gear at the back. This gear is set for 60 seconds. The drum has 100 slots in it, and these keys can be inserted at any point. As the keys pass a switch at the top, they trip the solenoid. Now, since there are 12 positions on the cam switch, there have to be 12 keys on the drum. Some of them just use up those extra positions. The ratchet advances, but no lights change. Next time you're leaning on a controller waiting to cross the street, you'll hear the ratchet advancing. Notice that some of the clunks don't affect the lights. If the sequence that's picked results in traffic jams, the gear at the back of the timer can be changed, or the keys in the dial can be set to different positions. This particular controller can accommodate 3 different timers and a clock to choose among them at different times of the day. We'll say rush hour, normal, and overnight. Now, since the lights are on for different percentages of the time, the timing drum and the broken out cams on the shaft have to be in step. Otherwise, the controller might be holding Main Street yellow for 60% of the time, with everything else correspondingly mucked up. If that happens, the unit will stop on Main Street green and wait for this special key up here to come around. It's special because it's longer and it hits a different switch. The mechanical controller can be outfitted with a lot of different options too. Multiple timers, vehicle sensors, and pedestrian buttons so the lights only cycle on request. And the controllers can be hooked to each other as well to change the lights at different intersections in sequence. Oh, this little motor and cam the advanced green flasher. The 4 painted switches at the end of the camshaft are set up to indicate which of the 12 positions the camshaft is in. Who needs to know that? Well, the central computer, of course. Twice a day in Toronto at rush hours, the computer takes over all of the traffic signals. Communication is done over a pair of dedicated phone lines to each intersection. They have a big phone bill. The 4 switches on the cam signal what state the lights are in. And then the computer disconnects the local timer and pulls the solenoid that advances the ratchet itself. It's rush hour in the computer room, and the computer is busy capturing intersections without disturbing the local sequence. It wouldn't help the flow of traffic to have a brief 2-second green, for instance. The computer adaptation of the mechanical controllers is pretty ingenious. The new solid-state controllers are computers themselves. The operation of the computer normally isn't noticeable till it fails. Then we get a good demonstration of what 1,500 unsynchronized intersections can do to a city. Since the new computer took over in 1980 or so, there haven't been any huge failures. The new controllers are pretty spiffy. Listen to some of this. Time of day, day of week, week of year. Battery backed up RAM. 0 to 127 in 1-second increments. Preemption, 4 independent plans located on programmable PROM. Setability, year, month, day, hour, minute, and second with daylight savings time conversion automatically implemented. 10-week programs and 35 exception days. Once again, microelectronics takes over. Fantastic. But boring. No moving parts.